All right, today I want to just kind of give you some clutch expectations of the 24 RZR XP 1000. And before we get started, we do have a belt for it, in my opinion, best on the planet. We've got a video we can put up, and maybe I can get Hunter to put an end card up, go to it, tell you the difference between ours and OEM and why it would be such a better choice. But RZR clutching expectations. Overall, if you leave this vehicle 100% bone stock, the clutching is really not that bad. If you called me, emailed me and said, does this brand new vehicle that I'm leaving bone stock need a clutch kit? I would say no. Now the expectations are out of this vehicle is that there is a clunk. A lot of people are experiencing a clunk when you initially want to move. That is, as a general rule, that's going to be your roller and your secondary, just swapping sides in the helix, because when you slow down, it goes this way, and then when you crank it up and go the other way, it's got to move. I can't verify this. I'll check it next time I'm testing. But when I put our belt on there, it seems like it didn't clunk as bad, but don't make a liar out of me. The next thing you're going to notice is it's this RPM on this RZR seems to be higher than normal and a little bit more noise than normal. They changed the gearing up in this particular model, so with stock tires, you're going to notice a little bit more RPM. Low range is really great in this, and so there's always trade-offs for RPM, belt grip, performance, etc. Now, another thing that we found out was the moment you change tires, the moment you go high elevation, or the moment you go to sand, etc., then stock clutching in this one just doesn't cut it that well. You lose performance, and it will behoove you to get the Dalton clutch kit and recalibrate the clutch, as a word we've been using forever, to match what you're doing. Just make sure shift phase is up there. There is a big difference between the OEM belt and ours on shift phase, by the way, and as mentioned in that other video, our belt's a little lower. You may end up adjusting your kit accordingly just to get that dialed in where you want to, depending on what belt you're using. But you certainly want to entertain a kit for those reasons. Now, another thing, clutching impressions of myself, like what did I see in this clutch when I opened it up for the first time? They have used, if you look at them, let me pull one clutch up. This is a 16 through 20 turbo RZR clutch. If you look at your primary, they're going to look almost identical to this. The biggest difference that you're going to see is the spider slides. The slides in here that slide up and down is a heavier duty one. Other than that, I cannot find a difference except for one other. I really thought I was onto something and thought we could use this particular primary on the 16 and 20 because of the better sliders. However, that's not the case. Polaris has chosen in this 24 model to change the taper on the crank on the 24 RZR and the 24 Expedition. If I'm not mistaken, it may be the same crankshaft as in the newer North Star Rangers, but nonetheless, the taper is no longer a 10-to-1, it's a 6-to-1. So you cannot take the primary that looks the same over there. And also, no other primary is going to work except for the OEM. Now, there may be a reason that they did the 6-to-1 taper, because presently there's no aftermarket primary for it. So just think on that. Now, another thing that I've noticed on mine, and it is clutch related, is when I start mine up, it has the god-awful metallic noise. If any of you are familiar with the old cam chain problem way back when with the cam chain adjusters, how noisy they were, that's what mine sounded like. And I checked mine, but it turns out it's the primary. It's pretty dang loose. The outside half, compared, it'll flop around. And so when it's cranking, it's bad loud. I eliminated it as a possibility by removing the primary totally and cranking it up, and it's as quiet as our 18 is. So that's another expectation. Secondary clutch, just to give you a hint on it, it is the exact same back half is all 21 and newer Ranger, RZR turbos, etc. Different helix, different spring, but the back half is identical. The outside half, and I don't know what the differences are yet, but the outside half is the exact same as, trying to remember, 21, 22 turbo RZR outside half, because in one of those years, 22 or 23, they changed part numbers. What the big difference is, I don't know yet, but more or less this has a, we'll just call it a 21 or newer turbo slash Ranger XP 1000 secondary clutch on it. Only difference is going to be the helix and the spring, because obviously they don't, all that stuff doesn't match up. So that's the clutches in a nutshell, what they are. You know, far as reliability is concerned, long term, we're not going to know presently. I don't think all that slack, even with the heavy duty sliders, is going to be that great. Time will tell. Secondary clutches, I don't think it's going to be a major malfunction. The rollers, they're iffy. We make rollers already that you can certainly slap in there to thwart, if that's a word, thwart any problems with that. So we could do that. But this is just a simple conversation type video as things popped in my brain to kind of give you some expectations of the 24 RZR XP 1000 and kind of a glimpse into the Expedition, because it has the same clutches. I do know that a lot of people in Expedition are complaining about the noise and RPM. So that's it in a nutshell. It's just, like I said, some expectations, and you got any questions on it? I'm learning, not about clutching obviously, but the clutches and how things are working on this 24 as I go. But I just wanted to put this information out just to give you a basic understanding of what you're dealing with and what you got, or what you may be interested in purchasing for as a new vehicle. So got any questions? Todd at Hunterworks.com. Thanks.